Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Johngy or Else podcast, without which life would be incomplete and have little or no meaning. I, of course, am who else but Tommy Else, and I call my first witness to the stand, coming to us from Skokie, Illinois. He's the man on the beat from johnjysbeat.com, Mr. John Robleski. How you
Promise to
doing?
tell most of the truth, or at least as I see it. How are you,
Yeah,
Tommy?
I'm okay, buddy. I'm all right. How are you?
I am well. It's brisk. It's wonderful. It's spring.
It's not bad. Yeah, mid March. I
I'll
mean,
take it.
the weather's been. Hey, we had like one really bad week of winter, and that's it. So for Chicago, we did pretty good this year.
It's been
So
the easiest winter I can remember.
yeah. So what's going on with Loyola softball? There must be something because you wouldn't wear the shirt if you didn't have something to say about Loyola softball.
Well, it's funny. I put it on. I was wearing it. Actually, I was just wearing it all day. But yeah, I mean, Loyola, the softball season, college softball season, home seasons have started. So I got DePaul, Loyola, UIC, and Northwestern, hence my Loyola. But as I was walking to set up the laptop for the podcast, I came across an idea that I wanted to run by you.
Oh God.
This started last year at Loyola's women's basketball games that I noticed it. The team is the Ramblers, Loyola Ramblers.
Okay.
Okay. They're trying very hard to sell everybody on the concept of blurs, apostrophe BLERS. Go blurs.
Yeah. No, I don't like. There's.
See,
I
that
see.
is
I see why their attempts are desperate at this
that is
point.
almost the exact like everyone's. It's usually just ugh.
Yeah, so that everybody's just giving you the "Ugh," yeah.
It's hard to rally
Why?
behind
Why?
blur.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is it's not like Ramblers is a good name to be able to just I think it's a good name. Leave it alone. You
Right.
know.
You got okay.
Let's go Ramblers. I mean, you can chant it. There's no problem there.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to find a way to be able to, do it in a crowd or anything like that. It's easy.
This is what I'm saying. You got the Wildcats, fine, go Cats. You got the Blue Demons, go Demons.
Yeah.
Ramblers, Blurs.
Well, that's like if you took the demons and were like, "Go Mons," it's like, is it really worth the two letters? I mean, it's like,
I want to see that. Then it gets into all sorts of things. Like they got T-shirts that just have like apostrophe BLERS. So you buy one of those, you wear, and people are inevitably going to
nobody's
go,
gonna,
"The hell's a
no,
blur?"
right? Yeah, yeah. Well,
But they're man, they're going on at least their second year. They're really trying this.
here's the thing: if you're looking to, if you're looking for a catchphrase, or you're looking for a gimmick or whatever, it's real simple. If the people latch onto it, then you got it, and if they don't, then don't. It's not. Then stop. You're wasting your time. You can't force people to get into something like that.
Right.
And because if anything, they're going to resent it. They don't like being told what to say. So let them come up. If they come up with their own, if the crowds come up with like their own nickname for them, then that's when you make your t-shirts and all your stuff and everything. You got to let it come organically. You can't just throw it out there and be like, "Hey, we're the Blurs now," right? Right? Yeah.
Like giving
Go
yourself a
Blurs.
nickname.
Go Blurs. Yeah, I know. You can't give yourselves a nickname. You got to get it from somebody else.
I want to be called T-Bone from now on.
Yeah.
George Costanza. Thank you.
T-Bone. Well, so I have my big hoss hippie Regan Lydale t-shirt on because
Is it Regan or Reagan?
I think it's Reagan. I know that I say it wrong all the
I
time.
just
I
want to get accuracy's
it's
sake because
it's Reagan. It's Reagan, and I think the first time I ever said it, I said Regan, and it just never left me. And I've been corrected by you and by her multiple times,
all
and
right.
you're right. But yeah, so
But
Reagan,
I do love the shirt. I have the shirt. I'm just obviously not wearing it, but I love
yeah,
the shirt.
It's a good shirt. It's a nice shirt. It does break one rule with wrestling t-shirts, and that you don't make white t-shirts. Um,
Why?
because they just get dirty and they wear out too quick, you know.
Well, why does a white t-shirt wear out quicker than a black t-shirt?
Well, I mean, like as far as like if you like get stuff on it and everything, you know. Look, for me, I get stuff on my t-shirts. All right, if I have a black t-shirt, you can wash it and it's not a big deal. But stuff, you know, subtle stains show on a white shirt. I got this shirt, and the only time I'm ever going to wear this shirt is, besides right now, is when I go to a match to go see her, and then I'm putting it away. But I wouldn't wear this like on a weekly basis. This thing would make it like a month before
Okay,
I got
well, I don't know.
coffee.
I'm able
I got
to
coffee or something on it, you
I'm able
know.
to live my life without spilling everything all over myself, and I'm sloppy. But then let me ask you though, not to be nitpicky, but that's what we do. So it's you inserted the word wrestling. She broke a wrestling shirt rule. Really, in your eyes, she broke a t-shirt rule.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Now, why are you allowed to have t-shirt rules, but I'm not allowed to have food rules?
I didn't make the t-shirt rules. They're not my
Who
rules.
made them?
I'm just following the rules. Well, it's not a rule. It's just it's not a rule, but it's a good idea to not get white
I don't know. I got a
t-shirts.
whole bunch of white shirts, and I'm cool with them. So
I'll
I
tell
think
you
I think you just need to
I'll
neaten
tell
up a
you who
little.
backed me up on this is your buddy Mike Vinicor. Um
Why do I care? I mean, I like Mike, but why do I care what Mike's
because
t-shirt opinion is?
he agrees. He agrees. He's like, you can't make white t-shirts. Anyway, the whole point is that I'm wearing this because I will be going to see her wrestle this Saturday night, tomorrow night, as of this recording. So by the time it comes out, I will already have seen it. But our old buddy Ego, Robert Anthony, is we've talked about his promotion before,
Yes.
Ego Pro Wrestling, but this is I think was originally supposed to be like their debut show, but he's done a couple things prior to this, but this definitely is the biggest one that he's
Well, he calls
put
those
on so
previews.
far.
They weren't really ego pro
Yeah,
shows.
this is
Sort of
definitely
like dark matches. It's like a dark show.
right. Yeah. No, this is definitely a much bigger production, and Cameron's going to be on it, or Reagan. And so but so are you know, some of our other buddies, the Brothers of Funstruction will be working on that show. Our old friend Zach Thompson from Resistance Pro will be there, I believe, calling the action, or maybe just then you got the hair debonair Mr. Riccolo
Oh, love Rick.
hosting in the middle of the ring for the night. You
I
know,
was made for loving you.
yeah. So it sounds like it'll be a happening. And I came into 4 comped tickets to go. And so I'm going.
Go ye shall.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And I think even your buddy Beatty Smooth is going to be wandering around there somewhere.
Oh, you'll
Um,
find him. If he's
our,
there, you'll find him.
he'll find me. Um,
Hey, if they
but
got t-shirts there, I've been, I'm waiting to get an extra large t-shirt from him. So if they got one, I would gladly repay you
of what?
an Ego Pro t-shirt.
Oh yeah, no, I'll pick you up one if they got them extra large.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will
Well,
PayPal you the money promptly.
all right. There's a 25% service fee for that.
Well, hey, I figured it'd be more than that. So
Yeah. Well, you get friend prices.
I'm a
So
friend?
yeah. Well,
Oh, wait, you didn't say I'm a friend. You just said I
I'm
get friend
giving you friend
prices.
prices. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, that's
but
exciting for her, though. I mean, that's as we've both applauded Ego many times. He's one of the best in the area, and for him to put a show in, for her to be on his first show in a big match is
yeah,
pretty
and
exciting.
it's a 4-way, and one of our previous guests, Missa Kate, is in that match. And so she's someone else I'm looking forward to seeing and saying hi to. So um yeah, so it's a big deal, you know, to for him to have, I mean, I think it's the only women's match on the show. I could be wrong, but I think it's the only one. And even if it's not, then there's 2 at best. But you know, of all the people he could have called for, you know, for her to make that cut, that's a big deal.
That's
So
a huge deal. That
that's
speaks loudly.
and that's why I want to make sure I go to this one, you know. So she's been out of state for a lot of them. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I a couple of weeks ago I went and saw Monster Jam at the Allstate
Yeah,
Arena, the monster trucks. You ever go to one of those?
I have. I covered one like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I've never been to one before. It was like, I don't know. A
I
I don't
don't
know.
get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
Right. And that's kind of the same how I felt. Like, so they started it out like with these races, and it's just two trucks because even the Allstate's only so big, so but like the trucks like never pass each other, and I don't really get how it works. Like they just keep going in a circle, and somebody decides who won. I don't know based on what. So they run all these, there's only 8 trucks in the whole thing, so they run races with all these things, and then now they come out and now they have to start doing two-wheel. It's a competition to see who can do like the best two-wheel stunts and stuff like that. But the thing was is that most of them were doing like one came out, did a bunch of stunts, went back. The next one came out, did the same stunts the first one just did, and then went
Yeah.
back.
Well, I mean,
And
there's
I
always so much you could do with it. The truck.
well, that's fine, but then I don't need to see all 8 trucks keep doing the same thing though. Do it with like 2 or 3 and let's move on. So then they brought out then they had an intermission, which I hate intermissions. I don't like intermissions at wrestling shows. I get why they do them. That's when they make money on merch and things like that, but I just don't like it. So they have an intermission, they come back. Now they got guys on bikes on the, and they're flipping their bikes and jumping through the air and all that sort of stuff. Now, it was a packed place. I mean, like they did like 5 shows or something like that over the course of the weekend that they were there, and we were like the second to last one. So I mean, it certainly was well attended. It would have looked cooler if it was like back in the 90s though, when people used flash photography, because like when those bikes go flying through the air, everybody's taking pictures, but you don't see any of the flashes
Yeah.
and stuff going off. And it just gave it that more electrifying feeling and stuff. I feel like that's also missing from wrestling and stuff too. Like when The Rock would get up in the corner and throw that arm up and all those flashes go off, or Austin or any of those guys. Now it just doesn't exist anymore, and it takes away from the energy, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So the bikes were cool though. I thought the bikes were a little more daring, and they had 4 guys on bikes. They kind of mixed it up a little bit. So then the trucks came back out, and then it was just kind of like it was freestyle. It was like you got like a minute to show off your best stuff, and then the crowd voted with their phones. There was like a QR code thing or something, and so the crowd would decide like who wins the whole thing for all of these contests and everything. So uh it was fine. I think little kids probably would like it more. The coolest thing I saw was Gravedigger did a flip the entire truck over and landed on its own wheels.
That's impressive.
But he did that once, and that was it. Other than that, I mean, the other not that the other stuff wasn't cool, but I mean that was the coolest thing I saw. Um, but and then I'll tell you something else. As a parent, you should have some you should have some sort of gauge, you know, over whether your child can handle an event like that. Okay. If you don't have earplugs, first of all, you're not going to make
Yeah.
it. You're not going to make it 2 minutes. There's no way. I don't care if you're who you are. All right. Not that the kids didn't have earplugs, but it's loud. That's just how loud it is. All right. So that in itself, even with earplugs, can be intimidating for a little kid. You can feel the trucks when the engines are rolling, roaring, and stuff like that. Now you put them in an arena with about 13 to 15,000 people in it, and even that, I remember when I was a little kid being at my first. I went to the United Center. It was the first kind of thing I was at where I was in like an arena type of thing. Went to the United Center to see Michael Jackson, so that thing was packed, and it was just the sheer mass of people was like intimidating to me, and how loud it was and how it just was scary. So there's kids at these things that are just like screaming bloody murder. I don't want to go. They take me home. Let me get out of here, please. I just want to leave. I just want to leave. And I'm just like, you got to know that I mean, you have to have some gauge as to whether your kid can handle that or not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they should have to or anything like that, but I mean, people are bringing like 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds there and stuff. And they are not, they get there and it sounds like a great time. And then once they get there and those things start revving the engines, oh, they want out right away. And the
Yeah,
parents
this
are
isn't
like,
like just watching our big Matchbox trucks play around. These are real
right.
freaking diesel engines.
Right. And there were plenty of kids who did love it, but I mean, like, I'm just saying, before you go dragging your kids out to this, think about whether they're going to be able to enjoy it or not. And if you're willing to roll the dice, then be willing to leave so that you don't sit there with a screaming kid for the next 2 hours either.
And this public service announcement was brought
That's
to you
all I
by
have to say
the
about
Johngy
that.
or Else podcast. Well, I got
Um,
a question for you as a gym guy. I,
okay.
I, I need to know gym if I broke gym etiquette.
Okay.
I've gone to LA Fitness for 20 years. They closed down, whatever. So now I'm at Planet Fitness, which is much smaller.
Yeah.
This happened twice in the last week. So I walk in the first time I walk in the front door. It's 4 in the morning, by the way. There's like 3 people in the gym. I walk in the front door. I walk all the way to the back. While I'm walking to the back, I'm looking at the back. There's 6 benches, flat benches. They're all open.
Okay.
So I go back to the one where it's by the free dumbbells because I wanted to do arms that day.
Yeah.
So I go there, I put my stuff on the bench. I pick up a couple of dumbbells. I start doing some curls. Guy comes up to me and gets like right in my face while I'm doing them. Doesn't wait till I stop. While I'm doing it, he goes, "That's my bench." So I put the weights down. I go, "What are you talking about?" "Well, that's my bench." And I look and there's like 5 benches clear next to me. I go, "Well, it wasn't your bench when I walked in from the front, and it took me, half a minute to get here, and I picked up weights and blah blah blah." I go, "There's like 4 of the benches." "Well, that's my bench." So I picked up my stuff. I start moving. I go, Before I grab the next bench, is there anything else that you lay claim to?" Because, well, I'm working a circuit here.
Better
And I go,
watch it,
"Okay,
buddy.
so what else are you working on?" So, and then, then he kind of like gives me the brush off, like, because now I'm being smart. So then 2 or 3 days later, I'm doing my workout, whatever. The bicep curl machine is like here, and in front of it is the tricep,
Tricep.
pull,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. I forget what those are called, but anyway,
Tricep push downs. But yeah, I know what you're
push
talking
downs.
about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's empty again, all the way from the back. I walk to the front, it's empty. I go there. Another guy goes, a guy on the bicep machine goes, "I'm working that machine." I go, "Well, it looks like you're working the bicep machine." He goes,
He's
"Well, I'm
super.
working that machine too."
He's
I
super.
go,
He's super setting. Now. So all right. So your first scenario, that guy
"Well,
was
wait a
just
minute though, because
okay.
there's one last wrinkle to this."
Okay.
So then I go, "All right, fine. I'll just whatever. I'll deal with this." He goes, "No, that's all right. I'm done anyway." I said,
Well, then why did you bring it up
I
then?
go, "Why are
Yeah.
we even having this conversation then?" "Well,
All
that's
right.
right. You can use it." I go, "Yeah, I know. You just said you're done." Go ahead.
He's just letting you know for future reference, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So your first scenario, that guy's just being an asshole. Maybe he was using it and he walked away. You just never saw him. He doesn't have to like I've done that where like I was using a bench and like but I walked away or something like that, and then when I came back, someone else was using it. Well, if anything, I just feel bad I didn't wipe it down before someone else got on it. I would, and if there's 5 other benches sitting open, then I'll just use another bench. It's no big deal. I would never go up to somebody and be like, hey, so anyone who's doing that is just being a jerk. Now, I the guy was not. So a lot of people do that. They put those two machines right next to each other, which is a mistake. I mean, it's great if you do have the entire gym to yourself and you can superset those two exercises, which is why they usually put them together like that, because people do that a lot with those two. However, if you're on one and the other one's, and you're just on your break from the other one and someone comes and gets on there, That's fair game as far as I'm concerned. Now, I might ask them if I could work in with them for like the last 2, 3 sets I have or whatever. You share, you just take turns on it. You just say, can I work in with you? That's all. But I mean, like, I wouldn't be like, hey, get off my machine. I still got 3 sets to go. No, you can't at any point in my estimation, you can never take control of more than one machine.
Thank you. I mean, I
So
understand the concept of supersets, and I do them. I will do a
if you
circuit,
can, yeah,
rotate,
you do
but if
them
somebody jumps on it, it's yours.
exactly. Like if you can do it and get away with it, and there's like nobody around, then great. But if people are around and they need to get on the machine, then you move over and you let them in. It's just yeah. So no, you were not in the wrong. Um,
I feel vindicated.
I declare you innocent of all charges.
Well, that's
Yep.
interesting since you started this whole thing with
Yeah.
with a court-like feel. Now you continue it, Judge Tommy.
Is this guy going to be watching the upcoming Billy Joel special that's coming on his 100th show at Madison Square Garden? Is this guy going to be tuning in? Is
I
this guy going to be
shall,
tuning into CBS that night
of
to
course,
watch his boy Billy Joel for the
of
100th
course.
time? Man, you,
Yes,
you could hear all those songs all over again. Man,
yes,
this guy,
yes.
I
Because
know
I think
this.
he's going to do some different songs because it's broadcast to a huge audience. So I think he'll do some different songs. There'll be probably some guest, certainly some guest appearance.
Probably. Yeah. No, I saw the commercials for that and I thought of you. I said, "Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm sure
Now look for the drummer because I interviewed him,
I'm
Chuck
sure
Berkey.
I'm sure that this is one event that this guy will cancel any softball obligations or anything else for.
Well,
He wouldn't do it to like say come to a pay-per-view at my place or anything like that or
there
be
is such a thing as a record. I
but
can record it.
uh you know
I
no,
can record it.
you could, but I think you're a big enough fan. You'll want to make sure you see it as it happens. It's
Not
history,
necessarily. I mean, I've seen it.
history in the making.
No, I've been to his concerts. I've been, I don't know, 15, 18 concerts of his, including Madison Square Garden. Beautiful. Not a great place
Yeah,
for
I
a concert.
remember.
It's just historic.
Right. Yeah, I remember you going to that.
I'm
Well,
not going to his one in Chicago. I'm not a big fan of he's doing like duet type concerts. And I think the one in Chicago, I think is Stevie Nicks.
yeah.
It doesn't have appeal to me.
Okay.
Just
Unlike a
thought I'd
banana,
throw it out there.
unlike a banana.
Ah, boy. Well, I mean, you're a big fan of Corgan. And I wanted to ask you about that too, but you're a big fan of Corgan. If all of a sudden his tour was like, different musicians than him, would that excite you?
It wouldn't excite me, but it wouldn't deter me from checking it out.
Would you check out, okay.
I mean, I'd be interested to see what he was doing, but
But okay, have you passed on any other Billy Corgan concerts in the last couple of years?
well, I don't think I've ever passed on one. If anything, it's been more a matter of, you know,
Have you
being
chosen not to go to any?
no. I don't think
Okay.
no. I've never said no, I'm not going. It's usually I can't get tickets or whatever I mean, like it's usually something in the way or something. Or I don't go if it's like a festival type thing. If he's playing Lollapalooza, I'm not
Okay.
going. I
All
don't,
right.
I love him, but I'm not going all the way through all that crap. I hate festivals. Never doing a festival. So, you know,
Well, I think
that's
if
the
Billy and
that's the
Billy
only
ever
that's the only thing that would cut me off where I would be like, no. I mean, unless it was like their final show or something like that, it's
Well,
like,
if the two Billies ever perform together, then you and I will go.
all right, well, that would be weird, but I would be fine with it. Billy Joel and Billy Corgan,
Get it? It'd be a double bill.
one night only. Yeah,
Double bill.
double bill. Ugh.
So what about NWA Chicago?
What about it?
It's the newest affiliate, if you will, of
Yeah.
NWA.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. It makes sense. He's going to have a Chicago chapter of NWA. It's interesting the approach he's taken. I mean, he's sort of like recreating territories, and placing NWA in, it's like they're picking their spots. It's still early on. I think this is only their second offshoot because there's one
Well, the
other.
other one's Midwest, right? So I don't know the difference there.
It's, I thought it was, well, I don't know. Well,
Because
I mean,
EC3 is the
so,
Midwest champ.
all right. Well, so Midwest may cover several states. NWA Chicago clearly is just Chicago. So there you go.
Now, do you think, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. Do
Well,
you think, will the majority of the rosters be exclusive to those brands, or is it just going to be like everybody goes everywhere and it's just, yeah, today I'm wrestling for NWA Chicago?
see, I don't follow it closely enough to be able to give an educated answer to that, other than my opinion, which I would think that uh, I know that he probably would like to have a strong, like one of their strongest presences be in Chicago, since this is where he's at. A fair amount of the roster at this point are Chicago people, you know.
That's why I'm curious.
The Brothers of Construction, Marche Rocket, you got Ego in there, you got Missa
This,
Kate, you know, Jay Bradley. I mean, there's all sorts of people who are all Chicago folks. So, not that they wouldn't do the Midwest thing and, and whatever, but I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, but, you know, it looks like they're doing slow and steady growth. And, I know that there's shows on the CW app, which, is a limited way access,
yeah,
in my opinion. But I
I'd rather
think,
go YouTube.
yeah, but I think that it's just it's like it's just a transitional thing right now.
Yeah.
They'll end up on the CW eventually, and it's like they just kind of have to eat it for now on the app, I think, probably. But they're playing the long game to get on the CW, especially since he's going to have his reality show coming out on there. You'd think that guy wouldn't want to do another reality show after
But that's all he wanted to do.
everything. Well, that's true. Yeah, when we were in Resistance Pro, that was his main. I mean, from day one, he said, "I'll be a part of the company, but I want us to do a reality show." So, and I mean, it damn near happened. But I filmed about
Now it's
six. I
now it's
filmed.
coming to fruition.
I filmed about 60 or 70 hours or something with that thing. And
That went nowhere.
I never saw one. I never saw one clip of the thing.
We did
Um,
see a trailer.
Yeah, and it was great. I thought it was
Yeah,
really cool. I was really
yeah.
excited. Yeah, I remember it was before one of our shows, and they were like, "All right, we can at least show you the trailer that we put together and stuff." And I was like, "Damn, this looks really cool." Like, just I was like, I would watch this. So, um, we haven't talked actually on the show about our trip to Cosmics that we went on about a month ago.
We did it?
No, no.
Oh, how about
Um,
that?
if you don't know, John and I took a trip down to McDonald's most
Offshoot.
recent offshoot. It's called Cosmics. We got the very first one in the world here in Bolingbrook, Illinois. Um, to our shock and awe, post having gone, they say that they're going to be rolling out like tons of these things now. They
10
feel
more in
like,
Texas this year, they say.
yeah, they feel like it tested well. Now I feel like I probably just had the wrong conception of what we were going to, what this place was. I was going there basically to get some lunch, but that's like going to Starbucks to get some lunch. I mean, it's like, yeah, they've got
Sure.
food,
Yeah.
they've got food, but that's not really their thing. And so they had like the usual breakfast sandwiches, the various McMuffins and what have you, and then they had two new ones. So John and I both got the new ones. One was what, an avocado
One was
thing
an
or something?
avocado and the other was tomatilla or queso tomatilla, something like that. The one
Yeah,
you
something. Yeah. Uh, they were fine. it was all right. It's a weird place. It's a drive-through only. But if you visit our YouTube channel, you can see our entire experience as we filmed the whole thing. Um, it just seemed really backwards, and I just like I don't know.
It
I
seemed
just don't.
unnecessary.
The whole thing seems unnecessary, and the place is also about a block away. Less, well, not even. It's in the same
No.
parking lot as another McDonald's, and it's just like you can get almost anything from Cosmics at McDonald's aside from
Well, let's clarify though.
some of
In
their
all
drinks,
fairness, at Cosmics, they do have a lot of like slushy energy drinks.
right?
So that's, I think, one of their, if
And then
not
they've
the,
got little snack things like pretzel bites and stuff like
yeah.
that.
But I think they're really aiming at the energy drinks, the herbal tea, like with whatever.
Right.
That's like the bulk of the menu. But
I just think rather than create a whole separate chain, you upgrade existing McDonald's or future McDonald's that you're building so that you could have a counter that is McDonald's, and then you could have a counter that is Cosmics.
why?
Like,
Why can't we just have all one? Is it
well, you
that
could, you could,
no?
but I mean, like, I look at it like, at Portillo's for those, you know,
Oh,
for
well,
those who've been at Portillo's, you've got Portillo's and you got Barnelli's in there, right?
yeah, it's true.
So, and they're two separate counters and they sell two separate things and everything. I mean, you can order it at the Portillo's counter and then go pick it up at the Barnelli's thing. But so I could see something like that, but the reason you would make it a separate thing is to draw more attention to it, because because otherwise you're just expanding the menu and it gets lost in the shuffle of everything. So I think if you have that separate area, that's calling more
Yeah, but then
attention to it.
okay, I want a Big Mac and I want the hibiscus energy slushy. Now I got to order them in the same spot, but I got to pick them up at two different parts of the restaurant. That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but it's a bigger pain in the butt to go from one restaurant and drive over to
Right,
another
but
and get
that's
the
why
other one.
just expand the menu and promote that. We're expanding the menu.
Well, I don't know. Either way,
The first major expansion.
I do think that Cosmics is a bit of a waste of time. But
I think
uh
unnecessary is the key word.
right, yeah.
Well,
There's just
on the topic of fast food places, when I was just in Florida a couple weeks ago, and the hot thing, I'm sure it was here too. The hot thing on the news was Wendy's price surge menu. You heard about that?
no. What
They
happened?
said in 2025 they're going to spike prices during peak hours, like lunchtime. They're going to raise the prices, and of course they got like a huge backlash.
Oh, of
So
course,
then
yeah.
they dial it back and go, no, 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 you all misunderstood what we said. We said we're going to lower the price at off-peak hours,
Okay.
which is totally not true. I mean, they're going to jack the price. So now they'll probably jack the prices across the board. They'll probably jack them up
Right,
higher.
so that
And
they can
then,
lower it. Yeah, it's all just relative. Yeah.
which I guess is that's whatever. But like, why did it ever come out in the first place like that? Then you have a horrible marketing team that should figure this out.
Well, all of the fast food chains right now are taking a lot of heat for the increase in prices and
Well, because
everything.
it's ridiculous.
I mean, like McDonald's now, it's like to get a burger, fries, and a soda, you're paying like $12 or something like that, and
Yeah.
it's like
Fries and a Coke is like $8.
yeah, that's crazy talk. That's like what happened to the dollar menu? I mean, like it's and it's like
That's true. I mean, yeah,
Taco
we
Bell.
got
When I was a kid, we got Taco Bell at least once a week, maybe twice if we were lucky. And part of it was because it was cheap. It was like 49 cents taco. I mean,
yeah,
so my mother could take me and my brother and get Taco Bell and get a nice healthy big bag of, Taco Bell burritos and tacos and cinnamon twists and the whole thing for like maybe 10 to 15 bucks or something
yeah.
like that
But feed the three of you.
if we went really crazy. Yeah. For the three of us. Right. Exactly. I remember like hanging out with friends and like me and a buddy going on a Taco Bell run, and we spent like $20 and got like, nine guys were eating, I
Yeah,
mean, it was, but now if I could go and get, I usually get like, 2 to 3 tacos and a bean burrito or something like that, drink, and that's it. And yeah, you're looking at like $15 or something like that. I don't even know. It might be more, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, a foot long sub at Subway is $15,
Yeah,
14, 13 to $15, depending on where you go, for just one sandwich.
yeah.
So
$5 footlongs, no way.
yeah, it is crazy though. They've got the foot long cookies now. They got foot long
Footlong cookies?
yes. You
I
can get
never heard of it.
yeah, Subway. So Subway is doing. They have it's a foot long cookie. They've got a foot long pretzel. They have a foot long churro, and they're like 2.99 or something like that. And apparently, when they launched, they were outselling the sandwiches like by a significant margin. Like
Sure,
people,
because that seems a reasonable price.
it is. I mean, it's like a chocolate chip cookie. It's just and it's
Yeah.
stretched out a foot long. So I just, but man, I don't know. I just think, there's some things, this is where I like the health stuff comes in. I see that and I'm just like, nobody needs a foot long cookie.
Well,
Especially when you're probably getting a foot long sandwich along with it. So
well, come on, nobody needs, a double cheeseburger with bacon either.
yeah, no, I understand. So, I know I've told you before about how, one of my biggest dreams, I would say, is
Oh, that's it.
yes, is to be shot out of a circus cannon. I've
Yes.
always wanted to be shot out of a circus cannon. And I used to feel like I wanted to try skydiving in it, but it was more of a like face your fear type of thing. And then I decided that risking my life for no reason really. I mean, I just don't feel like jumping out of a plane is a good idea if you don't have to.
Yeah.
So, however, right behind that is being shot out of a circus cannon, which is something I would really like to do. So I was mentioning this to somebody, one of my clients, and he lit up and he said, I actually know someone who has one and who does that. So he is reaching out to this person, and they travel around. They bring the cannon around to like different festivals or circuses and things like that and stuff. But he and his wife get shot out of the cannon, and they're friends with this guy. So he was like, and I told him, because before he even said anything, I was telling him like how big of a deal it was. I was like, "There's no way it would ever happen. I don't know where I'd ever, be able to get that." And but he jumped in and he was like, "I am going to make this happen." So I'm just throwing it out there. It's a possibility. It's not
Well,
locked down,
if it
but
happens, I need to be down there. I need to film this. We need to
oh,
cover this.
I if this happens, I will call everybody I know to be there and bear witness to this. And I want it videotaped. I will hire Mike Vinicor to come out and shoot photos. I mean, this is gonna be
Well, I
sadly
have so many
one of my
questions.
best moments ever. Because if I don't do it now, then when I'm dead, I'd like my body shot out of a cannon at the very
Well, that's
least.
easy. We could burn you and just put you into a cannonball.
No,
I
you
just
gotta
so
shoot the
many,
dead. You gotta shoot the dead body, man. It's
well,
not
that's
funny.
easy. There's no
It's not
resistance.
funny to just throw in just throw in the ashes. You
This
gotta
should
you
have been
gotta
its
see the
own
dead.
episode.
I
There are
mean,
too many
this
questions. Like, do you have to, the husband wife do it? Are you like, what would you have to do to do it? Like, do you have to learn stuff,
I would
or do they
imagine.
just go,
No,
okay, just don't move?
I respect it enough to imagine that there's stuff you need to know and learn how to do. I don't think they would just let anybody hop in the cannon and go for a ride. You know what I mean? There may
You got to
be
wear
there.
a helmet, obviously,
I
right?
would
It's
think so.
cannon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine with wearing whatever protective
How
gear.
far would you
I
shoot?
I'll go as far as they can blast me. I don't know whatever they can, whatever they can. I don't know how far you usually go, but I'll take it. Basically, you get shot and then you just kind of have to do a flip to land on your back, and I can do that. I mean, like well, I know how to flip forward at least from doing it so much in wrestling. So I at least have enough sense at
Why do you
least
have to
of
flip on your back? If you're landing, like I assume you'd be landing on something padded.
Yeah, well, you still would rather land on your back than your. It's just safer because if you come in at a weird angle, you could land on your neck, even if it's on a padded thing
Oh,
or something like that.
that's true.
You could hurt yourself. You could break your legs or something.
Yeah,
Um,
wow, that's yeah, there's insurance liabilities there too.
well, and that's the other thing. So I mean, like there's some things that need to be ironed out, but a foot in the door at the very least here,
Oh, this is exciting.
and I'm going to push that foot in as far as I can. I will do whatever I have to. So I'm just letting everybody know. I don't know how long this will take to make this happen, but mark it as of March 15th. I am on a mission to be shot out of
This
a
is
cannon.
exciting.
I want it to happen, and all are welcome to attend.
I will cover this thing for
I
every outlet for
I
which I
don't
write.
know why this brings me so much joy, but man, I just love it. I don't know why I want to do it. I don't know why it makes me so happy to think about doing it. I
Hey,
don't,
I'm all over it, man. This
but
is fantastic.
I mean, like, let's do it. I mean, of all the things you could do at the circus, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go up on those wires and fall off or any of that stuff or be eaten by a lion, but I'd get shot out of a cannon in a heartbeat, man. So,
I wanted
I
to do
mean,
three.
we'll get I mean, have everyone together, a big countdown. You know, what I
Oh,
would,
this is gonna be fantastic.
what I would really love, is if it worked like it did in the cartoons, and there was like a fuse, and you could just light it, and you see the thing
Should I
like,
light it?
and then like go in, and then boom.
And then you just like sink out of the cannon at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. It blows in the universe.
Well, that didn't work.
You see me climbing out of it. I'm all covered in soot. Yeah, it's just yeah.
I thought it'd be much different.
Oh,
Well, that's exciting, man.
yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But keep a good thought. Those who pray, to whatever God you worship, put in a good word that Tommy else might get his wish and be shot out of a cannon. You know, I don't think that's asking too much.
I think there's a lot of people that would love to see you shot out of a cannon.
I think so too, and I hope to deliver.
Then we need shirts like I was there. I saw Downey get shot.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get a logo with like a guy being blasted out of a cannon or something like that. Absolutely. Well, all right, buddy. Well, it's good that we got a chance to get in an episode here and catch up.
Well,
Uh,
finally, you were able to free up your time.
I have been busy, but you are too. You are
Yeah,
too.
I've been wide
You've
open for
got
you, pal. This
Oh
one's on
yeah.
you.
Every time I got a softball game that day. I got to cover. I got to cover
No, I've been the one
I
saying
got two
we need to
basketball
do
games that night or
we
whatever.
need to do a pinfalls retro.
We do. I know that's far overdue. Anyway, we'll talk
Yes.
about that later. All right, everybody. Well, thank you as always for joining us and tuning in to the John G. Orles podcast. As always, I of course have been who else but Tom Ailes. With me,
No blurs.
with me as always, the inconceivable, incomprehensible John Robleski.